Ansible Collection Changelog with Ansible Changelog. So Ansible Changelog is a wonderful command line utility for managing changelogs in collection. The changelogs are managed in the Ansible way, so using different YAML file as a fragment, and this utility is combining all together in one release file. As you can see, this utility is used by the Ansible community also for releasing the most well-known collection that we are using every day. For example, community.general. This utility supports the initialization of the changelog, the linting to verify that is correctly the syntax, and as well the release command. These are mainly the three different usage. As you can see, the documentation also has some example for additional resources that we might would like to add in our collection. For example, plugin, role, and other stuff. I think this documentation is very well done, but a little bit techy. So now let's deep dive in our collection changelog. The adventure starts in our Visual Studio Code editor. As you can see, this is my full bar collection that has already one changelog documentation. This is just a placeholder actually to remember that everything is managed under the changelog directory, and here we have just a config file with all the necessary commands to using the Ansible utility. There are some key part, for example, for keeping fragment after our release, our changelog release, and also the title of our collection. In my case, full bar collection. That sounds cool. We can choose to enable, disable certain section, and also control a little bit of parameter. But these are the main component of my Ansible. But do we need also Ansible installed? Yes, obviously. Ansible is a command line tool that is a separate project of Ansible, so it's not actually shipped with the Ansible package. Just we need to install from the pip, the Python package manager. So as you can see, the command is very straightforward. Pip install Ansible changelog. So let me copy and paste, and let's install together in my workstation. Once the command is successfully installed, we can start taking advantage of this utility for creating the changelog for my Ansible collection. Welcome to my terminal. As you can see, I just copy and paste the command from the website, but I need to adjust pip to pip3 because I'm using Python 3. Most of the dependencies are already satisfied in my system, so just a couple of them need to be actually installed. Cool. Now Ansible changelog command is available in my workstation. Now the sky is the limit, like always. So Ansible changelog, let me take a look on the help. The first things that I notice is that there is no -- version parameter listed, and well, there isn't, but this command line, as you can see, has just a few positional arguments: init, lint, release, and generate. So let me enter in my collection directory, specifically this is a full bar collection that we saw before in my Visual Studio. First things is to enter actually in the fragment directory and start with the init. Well, we already have a config YAML, the one that we've seen before, so no need to initialize the changelog. And for the people that are very time consuming, they would like to use Ansible to release the code straight away. Well, please don't do it, because Ansible is actually doing a syntax check on that everything is correct and at the moment my collection is not actually ready for release. Yes, the linter is correct, so basically means that the config YAML is correct, but as you can see, there is a missing documentation for my hello world filter, and this stuff is very important. As well, also there are some missing release summary for my 1.0.0 release. So we need to address this concern and fix these issues before being able to release my 1.0 release. So first of all, let's bump on the filter and adding the missing documentation, and then let's fix together the release manifest. Okay, back on my editor, the first things that we need to solve is actually my hello world filter. This hello world filter, as you can see, just print on the screen a message when with a name input. It seems pretty straightforward, but we need to add this documentation section into the Python. I already filed out some of the sections, so name, author, version. I need to match the collection version, a short description, and the positional argument. So you need to do the same with your Ansible filter in order to be compliant to the changelog format. Okay, now my filter look nice, and he has a documentation that is valid for the Ansible standard. You need to use the same format for all your Python custom plugin. So if you wrote a callback, action, or whatever type of plugin, you need to have a section like this inside. Now it's time to actually create the fragment that is part of the release manifest. So let's start jumping inside our changelog directory, and let's create a new directory called fragments. So as you can see, on the release one YAML there is nothing, so let's create a new directory called fragments, and let's add a new file that matches the version that we would like to release. In my case, version 1.0.0.yaml. Cool. Inside this file, we're gonna create just one quick release summary with content of this summary. This file could be more extended and having more information for our release. It's great working with fragments because we can incorporate many fragments in just one release. So if you're working with feature branch, this is a great way of doing it. Back on my console now with Ansible Changelog, let me validate all the file, and yes, we have a successful result. And now let's do a proper release. Yes, let me check the help. You can also change the date, the version, the code name, but I would like a verbose. Yes, there is a -v, but it's not showing anything on the screen, but never an error. So this is a success. It means that it successfully created the changelog YAML file. Back on my editor, as you can see, the file 1.0.0 YAML fragment is actually deleted, and all the changes are incorporated into the changes YAML file. Cool. Now we have our changelog created, and we are ready to release our collection. Wow. This was a journey, but Ansible simplifies a lot of this workflow. The more you're getting familiar, the more you understand each steps and why. So I'm really excited to hear about your success story. Last step will be to actually commit our code in our shared repository. So let me add all the newly released file, let me add a commit message changelog release, and let me push this data to the remote repository. In this way, our team will be all together with a common release. Yay!